What's going on, guys? John, Neuropath Health. I have another truck talk for you guys today. Today I'm going to talk about the template that I use when it comes to lifting. Um, I follow a template, and I'm going to show you guys what that template is. So for me, I program workouts, and those workouts are centered around a few pillars. The first one would be strength, durability, athleticism, and longevity. So, with all that being said, what has worked really well for me is programming things around 5 main lifts: clean, squats, Bulgarian split squats. I call those RFEs, rear foot elevated, bench press, and push press. And what I have found with this way of training, when these lifts and these movements are going well, they're going in the right direction, my body starts to feel better. And for these 5 lifts, I chose these because, one, they attack the whole body. There's some unilateral stuff, that's where the RFEs come into play, coordination, and there's real world carryover with those 5. And again, like another variable that I'll add with these 5 lifts, I don't do it all the time, but there are times where I will do it, is I'll pair the main lifts with some sort of plyometric. So that could be squat jumps, single leg jumps, bounds, skips, vertical jumps, box jumps even. There's all sorts of things. And those plyometrics, and sprints sometimes. Pairing the plyos with those lifts, it keeps the joint springy, which means you're going to be a little bit more athletic, which can, again, like, it has carryover into life as well. There's training the nervous system when you do all that. And of course there's other things, but those are the main things that I pair those plyometrics in for. And pretty much it helps me age well, and it helps me move well as I progress into another phase of life. So typically after one of those main lifts or one of those main supersets, the push and pull stuff gets inserted here. So with me being a driver, obviously I sit a lot and I find myself hunched over quite a bit. So I tend to pair a lot of pulling motions as compared to the pushing motions. So that'd be a lot of pull-ups, lots of rows. That's pretty much it. But it's a lot of bent over rows with a bar, T-bar rows with a bar, gorilla rows, dumbbell rows. There's all sorts of options when it comes to the pulling. So again, that's just me. You don't have to do more pulling. You can do a lot more presses as well if you want to. But I do fill in the gaps with push and pull after those main lifts. So we have the main lift, push pull. If I have time, or if I'm feeling good, or if there's something that kind of felt off during that lift, the third thing will be the accessory things. So, like, say for example, if I was doing a push press and my shoulder was kind of feeling goofy, I would start to investigate, okay, why is my shoulder feeling goofy? So for me personally, like, again, I'm hunched over a lot. So in my own experience, if you attack the rear delts and the lower trap, sometimes when you do overhead things, like, that tends to alleviate a lot of the issues. So that's where that third round would come into play. It's accessory work. And sometimes, obviously, like, I'm a dude, like, I'll do my arms in the third round, or I'll do my arms on a rest day because, like, it's only going to take me no more than 10, 15, maybe at the most 20 minutes. But that's pretty much what the accessories are for. Attack the problems or for the cosmetic stuff. Last thing as well, before I forget, I do core almost every day. Typically what I do, part of my warm-up is a lot of core stuff with a bar, and then I'll kind of introduce core through the lift. If I do core, it's normally in the second round with the push and pull, but there are times where I will pair it with one of the main lifts as well. So after the main lift, that's going to be where a lot of the mobility is done. The FRC stuff is a really good starting point. It keeps the joints going, the pales and rails. They kind of train the nervous system, which in turn can train the joints to get a better range of motion that you can control. That's a really good starting point with the FRC. I like doing those in post lift, but I do them pre lift and sometimes during the lift too. The CARs, controlled articular rotations, are really good for like pre lift and during the lift. The pales and the rails are more for like post lift. I do stretching, but for me the main thing is I got to be able to control the motion, the movement. If I can't control it and I need help, I don't own it. So if I don't own it, I need to start working on it and getting better at it. And any rest days that I have, typically on weekends, are where I do a lot of rest things. A lot of rest things, where I typically get my rest days. But I will do things kind of like an active recovery. So I have an assault bike. Eventually I do want a rower, a Concept 2 rower. And with the assault bike, I'll just wheel it out and I'll just do a light intensity steady state cardio, like staying around like a RPE of 4 or 5 difficulty. And I'll just do that for 20, 30 minutes. When I'm done, do some light mobility, maybe some core work, and I'm good to go. And I try to do that in the mornings. Again, doesn't always happen, but that is typically the plan. And this is what's really worked well for me. So to close this out, it's not really flashy training, but for me it's sustainable. And in 20 years, I'm going to be able to continue lifting because of this way. And I'm going to post a link down below in the description of a workout template that I typically use. And again, it's just a template and things change. More plyos can be added, less plyos can be added, supersets, no supersets. It's just a template for you guys to view. If you like simple, sustainable strength, follow along.